Back in the hall. Ladies and gentlemen, the next honorees will be the 1960 Watertown High School football team. It was in 1957, the Watertown High School suffered through a 1-win, 7-loss, and 1-tie season. That 1958 season featured a 78-12 loss to Brockton and a 50-6 loss to Beverly. But Coach Palladino had an interesting solution for the problem. The high school varsity football team sophomores played the varsity game on Saturdays and got their tails whipped, and then were shipped out on Monday to play the JV game. I think we might have been the only team in Watertown history to play 18 games as sophomores, 9 varsity games and 9 Monday JV games. That football team in 1960 was the first Watertown High School football team to play a Class A schedule and to compete in Class A versus the old Class B. They opened up the season with a 55-12 victory over Medford, behind 200 yards rushing and 4 touchdowns from Hall of Famer and All-American that year, Bob Capadonna. Bob Capadonna would go on in 1960 to rush for 1,375 yards and score 160 points. Tony Mancini and Al Verrocchi would rush for 1,100 yards and a combined 112 points. The offense played Newton, a team which had ruined Watertown's Class B championship hopes several years before. And on a sunny day at Dickinson Stadium in Newton, all of Watertown stood on its feet as that football team beat arch rival and hated Newton 72-0. A lot of people out there, Watertown High alumni, like that 72-0 score. While they were scoring, the opposition wasn't. Watertown's defense allowed just 28 points in the first 5 games and 64 for the season, for an average of 7.1 points per game by the opponent. No Watertown opponent scored more than 14 points, and only 2 scored that many. This, as we said, was the first year in which Watertown High School played in Class A. After all was said and done, it set up the game at Beverly that everybody talks about before 15,000 people, in which Watertown lost 14-8, in a game which we have the key play that people have talked about for years and years on this video, when the ball hit the referee. The damn idiot was lined up wrong. When you watch the film, instead of being lined up behind the deepest back, he's lined up between Capadonna and the line of scrimmage. So when the ball is pitched, I couldn't run it all, and I could have run that one in the end zone, never mind Verrocchi. But the pitch from Miggy hit the referee and never got to Verrocchi. So Watertown lost 14-8, and that's when champions are really called upon to do something special. Because the next week we were playing Haverhill, and Haverhill had beaten undefeated Lowell, had scored 30 points on Lowell, had run them out of the field. And we had scheduled this Haverhill team because we had an open date, and now we were playing them after a devastating loss. The score at the end of the first half was Watertown 30, Haverhill nothing. In that 36-8 final drubbing of Haverhill, the editor of the Haverhill Gazette said, "I can't remember the last time that any other team rolled up points like that against Haverhill." Followed the Haverhill game with an 18-6 win over Belmont, which, as you look at the record, would turn out to be one of the few wins over Belmont in that decade. 9 starters off that football team went on to college on scholarships, and the community got together to raise sufficient funds so that we went to Florida and watched Ronnie Testa play for Navy against Missouri in the Orange Bowl game. That 1960 football team is here represented. I'd like to call the players up here to the front to be able to watch the video, which you will all have a chance to see, but I'd like to call them one by one, those who are here, First of all, number 70, Eddie Valenti. Number 18, Al Verrocchi, Hall of Famer. The next fellow I'm going to introduce, I'm going to ask him to escort someone. We had 2 members of our team who are deceased. We've invited representatives of their families here tonight. I'd like co-captain Harvey Bazarian to escort Georgie Bedrosian's mother up front. Number 74, Larry Caruso. Number 37, Ronnie Migliaccio. Number 58, best back ever here, Bobby Capadonna. Number 38, McHugh Trophy winner in the Belmont game, Tony Mancini. Number 68, Jack Iannello. The next player I'm going to introduce is number 46, Billy Rinn, and I'd like Billy, we have another deceased member of our team, a great friend of all of ours, Tony Perella. Tony Perella's wife, Phyllis Perella, is here. I'd like Billy Rinn to escort Phyllis Perella up front, please. Number 57, Tommy Sansone. Number 26, we let him run the ball a little bit that year, Mike Tiano. Number 16, they put Harvey and I in charge of babysitting him down in Miami, Anthony Deldon. Freddie Lord. And I know we have our coaches out here, Bob Dupree, Vic Palladino, and Frank Solito. I know we also have out here Kenny Vaughn. Where's Kenny? Kenny, come on up here. If I missed anybody else because I didn't see you coming in, come on up. Before we present the Hall of Fame plaque to our coach, Vic Palladino, we'd like you all to sit back, shut down the lights, and watch the video and stay alert for that Bloody Beverly play. Right, you guys got to sit down. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to call on our coach, Vic Palladino, to receive the Hall of Fame plaque from Bob Caprillion. Coach Palladino.
I don't think it's fair for me to have 5 minutes when I get all these wonderful boys here. I'm men now, but I first of all want to congratulate all the new inductees this evening. I want to congratulate Bob Caprillion for the marvelous job that he's done here, and I want to congratulate all the fine people that have shown up this evening. This is by far the biggest crowd that I've seen here. Bobby Norton, as usual, does a fine job, and he more or less told you people about this team. When I speak about this team, it's my opinion. There never will be, I don't think, there never has been such a powerful football team as this 1960 team. I have to start at the beginning. And when I came to Watertown and I replaced a very successful coach, Joe Zeno, I was confronted with Class A football, the likes of Medford, Brockton, Haverhill, Beverly, Newton, Brookline. And I said to myself, as every coach looks into the future and says, someday I'm going to have talent, and that'll be the challenge for me. So this particular day, I said to Frankie Solito, Frankie, I'm going to walk over to the freshman football field and take a look at the freshmen. And I went over there, and this is a true story. I saw a center, I saw 2 guards, 2 tackles, 2 ends, saw a quarterback, a fullback, and 2 halfbacks. I said, gee, God, you've been awful good to me. And I said, boy, this is going to be something. So I went back over the practice field, and I told Frankie Solito what I saw. Well, there was a big challenge here, and Frankie Solito was a great part of helping. Frank Cousino, Dick Nigerian, and the trainer Bob Dupree, a marvelous trainer, very close to the kids, and the physician was Dr. Louis Mastrangelo. And Dr. Louis Mastrangelo and I, both being Italian, we used to speak Italian on the football field. Nobody knew what we were talking about. And all the backs were Italian, 4 backs, and the backfield coach was Italian. So they're going to call us the Italian Stallions or something like that, but that was not true. It just happened to happen that way. Well, anyway, coming up the sophomore year, we won 1 game. And as Dave O'Brien